What is happening? The world is on fire with breaking news, and DramaLoop is here to break it all down. We've got President Ferdinand Marcos addressing massive protests over a corruption scandal that has the Philippines in an uproar. Stick around, you do not want to miss this. Next up, the IVF industry is facing a seismic shockwave with serious fraud allegations surfacing, threatening to shake the very foundations of fertility treatments. This is huge. Then, get ready to be transported to the Roaring Twenties. The Repertory Theatre is delivering The Cottage, a play promising scandal and laughter in a dazzling 1920s setting that you won't want to miss. And finally, we're going back to the Philippines, where President Ferdinand Marcos is responding to widespread anger over a massive corruption scandal involving phony flood control projects. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Philippines President Ferdinand Marcos says protests over corruption scandal are justified. President Ferdinand Marcos of the Philippines has acknowledged the legitimacy of public anger, stating he doesn't blame citizens for protesting against a burgeoning corruption scandal. This scandal centers on allegations of phony flood control projects, which have ignited widespread discontent and led to numerous demonstrations across the capital, Manila. In recent weeks, thousands, including approximately 3,000 students at the University of the Philippines campus, have taken to the streets to voice their outrage. The protests highlight a deep-seated frustration with corruption and its impact on public trust and infrastructure development. The president's acknowledgement comes as the nation grapples with the fallout, seeking to restore confidence in governance. Public reaction has been intense, with many citizens expressing a mix of relief and continued demand for accountability. Social media is abuzz with discussions, and watchdog groups are calling for swift and transparent investigations. The scandal's implications are significant, potentially affecting future infrastructure projects and public perception of the administration. But is this the end of the story, or just the beginning of a deeper dive into accountability? We're about to uncover a scandal that's shaking the very foundations of the IVF industry. IVF industry, plagued by fraud allegations amidst existing scandals. The already scrutinized in vitro fertilization industry is now confronting a new wave of serious fraud allegations, adding another layer of controversy to fertility treatments. This development raises critical questions about ethical practices and patient trust within a sector that millions rely on for family building. These allegations come at a time when the IVF industry is already under public and regulatory pressure. The potential for widespread fraud could have devastating consequences for individuals and couples who have invested emotionally and financially in pursuing fertility treatments, potentially undermining confidence in the entire process. The news has sent shockwaves through patient communities and advocacy groups, with many demanding immediate clarification and stringent oversight. Experts are calling for a thorough investigation to ensure the integrity of IVF services and protect vulnerable patients from exploitation. And speaking of drama, prepare for a trip back in time to an era of glitz, glamour, and hidden secrets. Next, we're heading to the theater for a scandalous tale from the 1920s. The Repertory Theatre delivers scandal and laughter with The Cottage in a dazzling 1920s setting. Audiences at the Repertory Theatre are in for a treat as The Cottage brings the Roaring Twenties to life with a captivating blend of scandal and laughter. This production promises a dazzling escape into an era of flappers, jazz, and societal intrigue, offering a theatrical experience filled with wit and charm. The play is set against the vibrant backdrop of the 1920s, a period known for its social upheaval and burgeoning artistic expression. The Cottage delves into the often hidden lives and humorous predicaments of its characters, exploring themes of love, deception, and the pursuit of happiness in a stylishly decadent setting. Early reviews and audience reactions have been overwhelmingly positive, praising the sharp writing, dynamic performances, and the immersive atmosphere. The production is being hailed as a must-see for theater enthusiasts looking for an entertaining and sophisticated night out, capturing the effervescent spirit of the jazz age. But while this play offers fictional drama, Our next story brings real-world scandal to the forefront. We're heading back to the Philippines for a major corruption crisis. Philippines President Ferdinand Marcos addresses protests over phony flood control scandal. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos has stated that he understands and does not fault citizens for protesting amidst a significant corruption scandal involving the alleged creation of phony flood control projects. This admission comes as public anger intensifies, leading to multiple demonstrations across the nation's capital. The scandal has specifically targeted infrastructure projects, raising serious questions about resource allocation and government integrity. The protests, some involving thousands of students, underscore a growing demand for accountability and transparency in public spending. The president's remarks signal a potential shift in how the administration is addressing the growing public outcry. Public sentiment remains high, with many online forums and news outlets buzzing with discussions about the implications for governance and public trust. Citizen groups are urging for thorough investigations and the prosecution of those involved, emphasizing the need to rectify the misuse of public funds. This scandal has rocked the nation, but don't go anywhere. We're about to wrap up all the day's biggest headlines. And that's a wrap on today's DramaLoop. We saw President Ferdinand Marcos address protests over a major corruption scandal, the IVF industry facing serious fraud allegations, the Cottage bringing 1920s scandal to the stage, and the Philippines president responding to anger over phony flood control projects. What a whirlwind. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to DramaLoop for all the hottest news, hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, and comment below with your thoughts on today's stories. Follow us on all social media platforms to stay connected. See you next time.